You had a lot of problems when you were a child with bacteria.
Yes, because I was born with underdeveloped bronchi and I was with severe pneumonias until 4 years. What I remember from my childhood is to listen to the doctor saying this is another pneumonia caused by bacteria. So bacteria for me was the worst thing in the earth because it almost killed me. We are building the next generation of bioplastics that will be totally safe for our health and the planet. So a bioplastic has the same behavior as a plastic, but it can be bio-based or it has a biodegradable end of life. Depend on the characteristic or the condition, this is what we call a bioplastic. And what we produce is a bioplastic that is produced with a very special bacteria that are fed with organic wastes. Bioplastic is the same as plastic. It has the same texture. You can do whatever you want with a bioplastic, and they are not ugly. People think that the bioplastic is brown or only green. No, we can have the same colors and the same performance they are. You can have these textures. So our job is to adapt the bioplastic to the need of the customers, and our purpose that is to change the negative impact of microplastics in the world.
Welcome to Lift, the space where we interview leaders that are building a legacy. Today is a pleasure to have Patricia Aymà. She's a biotechnologist and chairwoman of Benviro. She is TED Fellow and recently awarded Premi Princesa de Girona. I recently discovered Patricia thanks to a post you made on LinkedIn where you were talking about purpose-driven innovation. What is purpose-driven innovation, Patricia?
Purpose is the energy. So our purpose-driven innovation is to eliminate the negative effect of microplastics, persistent microplastics, in the environment also and in the human health.
Incredible. And I wanted to make sure that this interview is accessible to everyone, right? Because, I'm interviewing a biotechnologist. So I think it's very important to simplify the concepts as much as we can. So, for instance, when we talk about Benviro, right? What are you doing exactly? What are you building?
Yes, so we are building the next generation of bioplastics that will be totally safe for our health and the planet. So a bioplastic, it has the same behavior as a plastic, but it can be bio-based or it has a biodegradable end of life. Depend on the characteristic or the condition, this is what we call a bioplastic. And what we produce is a bioplastic that is produced with a very special bacteria that are fed with organic wastes. So simplify the concept, there are a very specific bacteria that naturally they can accumulate inside of them an energy reserve. Just it's the same process as when we overeat, we get fat. So the same process for bacteria, they overeat and they have this energy reserve. So a bacteria loves to eat sugars and lipids just as we did, as we like. So instead of giving them that type of food, we give to them organic wastes, such as the sponges from a brewery system or the waste from the sugar production. So we take a waste, we cook this waste for the bacteria, they eat the waste and they accumulate a bioplastic inside of them that has the same properties as petrol-based plastics.
Incredible. Just as an example, you brought some samples of what you actually do, right?
Yes.
Can you explain us a little bit?
Yeah, so that's the perfect exemplification that bioplastic is the same as plastic. It has the same texture. You can do whatever you want with a bioplastic. So, and they are not ugly. So people think that the bioplastic is brown or only green. No, we can have the same colors and the same performance. They are also, you can have these textures. So these are sheets of bioplastics, so we can show to the customers, okay, whatever you want, we can have. So our job is to adapt the bioplastic to the need of the customer, so their performance. So this way we can have the bioplastics adapted in the market, and fully implemented. If not, the customer doesn't want to work with you.
Wow. And can you share like some of the business cases or successful stories that might already be in the market that like a customer might not know yet?
Yeah, so we are working in the perfume sector, for example, in the perfume cups. So we are substituting all the inners of the perfume cups in different brands. Also, we are doing agricultural films. So for imagine, in the south of Spain, there's a lot of heat, and they put these films just to avoid the soil dry too much. So these films will be biodegradable. And at the end, people working there, they don't have to take out the film. Just the machinery goes through the film and they mix the film with the soil because it's soil compost. And that's the end of the plastic. So they will be compost in the soil. So it's amazing that type of applications we are creating.
I think it's fascinating. I'm not a scientist, but I fully love the idea of what and like the examples of what you're building. I assume that it was like a very tough and challenging decision, like to try to disrupt the plastic industry, right?
Yes.
Because it must be like a very robust industry. Why did you choose the plastic industry?
I fell in love with the bacteria that were producing this bioplastic because I am biotechnologist. I didn't know what I would end up working with, but in a very exact moment of my life, I discovered these bacteria. They were like really common in the state of the art, but nobody was like using it like in the way we do it industrially. So I fell in love with the bacteria, and my brain did a click, and that gave me the purpose to go on and to study the entrepreneur part that I didn't have because I was really technical. There I met my co-founders, and these slightly crazy people that have raised 13 millions for doing that big technology for substituting and opening the plastic industry with bioplastics.
Mind-blowing. And it's even more mind-blowing to know the story behind because, if I'm not wrong, there's like a personal story, right, on why you decided to become a biotechnologist. And it links back to your childhood, right? Like you had a lot of problems when you were a child with bacteria.
Yes, because I was born with underdeveloped bronchi, and I was with severe pneumonias until 4 years. And all what I remember from my childhood is to listen the doctor saying this is another pneumonia caused by bacteria. So bacteria for me was the worst thing in the earth because it almost killed me when I was that child. So, but things changed when I was at high school. All the students told me about the power of bacteria because they told me, okay, they could be like really dangerous, but also they could be like really powerful because we are modifying bacteria for producing proteins and solve hunger in the world. And that made me a big impact. So I decided to be a biotechnologist. And right now, I just name myself a bacteria trainer. That's what I say, what I do. I train bacteria, I guide them to produce the best bioplastics for the world.
Incredible. And also, I think it's very important that, a scientist, like worldwide awarded scientist can share this knowledge with younger generations, right? Like you had this mentor, let's say at child school, that told you, okay, this is what you can do with bacteria. Like, how do you adapt all this deep knowledge that you have to younger generations to inspire them to pursue careers in STEM?
So what I do is to work really on communication because we do know that STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are really hard to study and also are really technical. We do not have a big reference on there, no? You have to create your path, sometimes discovering, be really creative. So what I really do is to work on communication and just to inspire and empower young people because there is another way of telling things, to not to be boring and not to be, or not to make it really difficult. So this way I told them that I am a bacteria trainer, but I'm only a biotechnologist doing my work, It's another way of communicating science. And I think that this way we can inspire young people to just let them know that you could be creative, you can be inspirational to other people working on science too.
And one thing that I particularly love about you is that you consider yourself a highly creative person.
Yeah.
Right? Can you tell us a little bit about this interesting combination of creativity and science.
Yeah, because at first I thought that science was only learning facts and apply these facts. But then when you open and you go to real world, you have to just design new solutions. You have to be really creative, and also if you are really creative, you will get fast to an optimal solution, because solution in science is not the perfect one. It's what the market accepts from your solution. So you have to be creative in order to test, to validate with the market so fast. And I think it's one big skill that science needs to be like always, or you need to have always really focused, to be really creative.
Super interesting. And like going back to your studies, right? What did you study? And then from that, like, what was your first job, your second job, and all of this? Let's go over your career.
So I studied biotechnology, and once I get the fourth degree of biotechnology, I became aware that everything that I loved from biotechnology was the things related with bad smells, because biotechnology has a hard part of fermentation, and that fermentation always led a bad smell. And I love waterway system treatments and also anaerobic digestion, and that type of fermentations were what I loved the most. So I said, okay, I love this kind of fermentations, industrial ones, so I need to be also an environmental engineer, because I want to create, or I want to, like, one of my objectives were like being the chief of a waterway system treatment. So I decided to study this environmental engineering master, and there I met the bioplastic bacteria producers. And I focused, or I planned to have something with that bacteria. They offered me 2 PhD for developing another type of bacteria, and I rejected them. And for achieving the purpose, or this plan, what I did is to work on different technological center in Spain just to test the scientific field. And also I combined that studies with being like a teacher in Kitsanas. I always work for paying my studies. And I also combined the part of study and working. And after ending the environmental master, I had the first financing round for Benviro. So I started working full for Benviro. So the time between I left studies, or I ended studies, and Benviro, maybe it's 2 years gap that I work so hard for having money and invest the money in doing that company.
Incredible. And what do you think are like the most difficult challenges that you found along your career?
I think that one difficult challenge here is that the combination between financing the company and monetizing at the same time, because we are a biotechnological company, and we extremely know that this company will have, or will need a lot of financing for developing all the biotechnological processes. So right now we already have 13 million invested on that processes, but I will say that if we could had monetization or incomes for each step that we overcome or that we completed from all the process that has a lot of steps, maybe that would have been better for making a robust company, a company that has different lines based on the same process. So that will be a step that was really a challenge.
Sí.
That's the challenge that I always want to explain, that this is a challenge that you might take care if you want to build a biotechnological or a scientific company based on your purpose, that it might or have the monetizing aspect or the incomes in each phase you can just overcome.
Super inspiring. And I'm also very interested to understand, like, who was the first person you hired when you had to build your company, right? Because I assume it was you first and then your co-founders, and then who did you hire?
We hired a really versatile scientific that worked with me, because the first thing we did as a company was to demonstrate in a semi-automatic scale and pilot scale that the process was able to be installed in the customer facilities. and once we were there, they could give us the waste, and that we, in a very manual or semi-automatic way, we could have this bioplastic done. So it was a really versatile scientific that he was like really comfortable with different scenarios, changing plans. That's the day of a startup.
Incredible. And by the way, congrats on raising 13 million, because it's a huge number. So yeah, I mean, once again, deep congrats on doing this. And my quick question is, what are you investing this on at the moment?
Yeah, so right now we are really focused on the market validation of these bioplastics, because what is really, really exceptional from our path as a company is that we started as an R&D company doing a biotechnological process. Our bioplastic, our raw material for the bioplastic industry. But once we were there, we came into account that this bioplastic could not work if it wasn't adapted to the normal machinery treating or using petrol-based plastics, okay? Because the industry sector won't change machines just because you are a bioplastic. This claim of sustainability is not strong enough. So once we were there, we discovered that we were introducing our bioplastic to these machines, and there were really little know-how on the other bioplastics of the market. So in the market, there are a lot of bioplastics, bio-based and also biodegradable, and the know-how, just putting these bioplastics inside the machines, is really little. So we also make a big R&D since 2023 on these bioplastics in the market. And right now we are able to adapt to the specific application or to the specific packaging or whatever, to a specific piece, whatever bioplastic of the market, depending on what the customer needs. So we ask them, what will be the end of life of this bioplastic? And once they solve this question, we formulate the bioplastic they need, and we give them a final solution. So this year, we are really focused on validating the market, because if we do not validate the market, we will be a nice story on the plastic industry, just another story that wants to change the plastic industry. And we are not here for that. We are here for achieving the goal and our purpose, that is to change the negative impact of microplastics in the world.
And that's why you've been awarded as one of the most innovative people worldwide, and actually you got invited to become a TED Fellow, right? It's my dream. Like at some point in my life, I want to attend a TED conference, and you had this privilege, right? And just as a curiosity, I organized a TEDx in my hometown, Igualada.
Yes.
But still, it's my absolute dream. And you went to Canada, right? Like, can you share a little bit about the story, and also what does it mean to become a TED Fellow?
So it was an amazing process, because TED opens this section just to spread and make bigger impact on the most innovative ideas they select from 10 people in the world. And one of them was me last year in 2025. And the idea is that they show you how to increase your impact, how to make a better communication, and also to open you to the TED Fellow or the TED network that is amazing and is huge, because a lot of people go there and support the cause that the network is amplifying. So I learned a lot about communication, about impact, and I had the chance to go to Canada, to Vancouver, and to be there in the TED 2025 conference. It was an amazing experience. I listened more than 50 TED Talks there, and also I went to discovery sessions, to dinners with other people of all over the world. I have new friends thanks to TED, and also I met a lot of people creating new impacts in the world. So it is an amazing experience to be a TED Fellow. Yeah.
Awesome. And to me, it feels like you planned your career, right? Like, because to achieve this level of success, to me, success equals impact, right? Like, it's not a number, it's impact. Like, did you really plan your career, or it was just accidental, intentional?
Yeah, it's a mix of both. I think that intentional, because I knew that I wanted to create impact and gets things done. I have this entrepreneurship mindset, but I didn't recognize it because it's a cultural thing of Spain. No, you don't know that you are an entrepreneur until you are, and people here is not the first that suggest to you just to be entrepreneur. It's a difficult path, but if it's driven by purpose, it's so easy. And also, it's intentional. It is intentional too, because I came up, or I discovered that I like to follow my feelings, and I like to set up the strategy day to day, and I don't like that. I like follow the other strategy. And then it was accidental because I didn't know I came in love with the bioplastic bacteria, and it happened. So it's a mix of both.
And I mean, we've met already, and I know you're very high energy, right?
Yes.
How do you sustain this passion and drive long term? Do you have any habits or rituals? What is your lifestyle?
So I live in the countryside, and that's something that resets me of full energy. And also I like to be really present in my home, to take care of my home and to be there. For me, it's really important to that aspect of my life, and also to sleep my 8 hours, because I love routine. I love to follow a specific routine day by day, and that's the way I can just keep doing what I do.
Awesome. And what does success mean to you?
Full independence, not be depending on anybody or anything. That's what is success for me.
Nice. And what would you tell a younger Patricia, maybe an 18-year-old Patricia or someone else who might be 18 right now?
I will say stay curious and keep moving things forward, because if you don't test or you don't try it, you don't know. So that's the first step of whatever you can do, just to leader your life, to leader the action, and go ahead.
Love it. As you somehow plan your career and your years ahead, do you have a plan for the next 5 years, or what are the main goals for you in the next 5 years?
So I will say that when you go to buy a shoe for going to the mountain, you go and you say, okay, I want a shoe with GORE-TEX, but you cannot buy GORE-TEX, but you know that it's good. So we want to be the same in the bioplastic or the plastic sector. I want this product, but it might has the Benviro plastic, it might have Bio, that is our brand. We want to be the GORE-TEX of the plastic industry, something that is really good, that has a really good impact, and that the society or the community is aiming to have,
Brilliant. And I know you have many talents, right? We pretty much cover them all here. Are there any things that you perceive you're not very good at, but you manage to overcome these weaknesses somehow?
Yeah, I'm not very good in waiting, or in this unproductive time, wait for things. So I made peace with that. And right now I understood that this is a process that you can control fully. And I am having these times with less anxious,
I think it's a problem we all have, especially living in I always like to say, it's not an era of change, it's a change of an era, right? With the whole AI revolution and so on. Do you have any thoughts or insights about how AI is affecting the biotech or industry you want to share?
I think that it's making processes easier, understandable, and also more productive. So we use AI for everything in our work, for planning, for solving really difficult problems, technical problems. And also it's making our life it's easier, it's faster to solve problems. So for us, it's a really important tool for solving also big data questions, because we have a lot of data, and it helps us to move on this data and have the best solutions. So it will for sure make biotechnology more productive and with more impact.
Super. And you've been recently awarded the Premi Princesa Girona, and it's a very prestigious award in our region, especially around innovation. But I want you to share, right, for people who might not know what it is, And what does it mean to win this award?
So it is an award that gives the Princess of Spain, and it's based on the impact you can have on the young people, because they want to get someone that represents the award and to inspire young people to pursue their dreams, or maybe to see, oh, well, Patricia has done that this way. Maybe I could just imagine my way this way. So it's a way of empowering young people, and for me it's an honor to serve and to be here for amplify this idea of inspiring and just to find the best resources for people just to go on with their dreams.
And I do believe you're a role model, like not only for my generation, but for younger generations as well. And I wonder, like, have you ever had any mentors throughout your career? Maybe you're just self-made, huh? Could be.
Yeah, I'm not self-made because Noelia and Jordi have had, my business partner, a great impact on me, specifically Noelia, who is a girl, a woman that I admire. How is she as a person, as a professional, and as a mother? And I will say that we cannot say we are self-made. We are a mix of the people that influence us, and we have the best from the people that surround us, and thanks to them.
Brilliant. And I know you're also mentoring younger scientists, right? How do you do this? Because sometimes, like, we try our best to teach other people what they should do in their lives, but I wonder, like, up to what point do we have to tell them what they have to do? Like, is there, like, the right way to become a mentor to someone, or what is your style when you mentor someone?
I am a coach. I am there to support their ways, because they have to do their journey on deciding on leading their lives, because I'm really a fan of saying that you have to leader your life, your actions, your conflicts, your whatever, but that you take the decision. So I cannot decide for them. Always I've been mentoring girls in this process, and I am the coach, the supporter, and also I bring them the information, because based on information you could take better decisions. So I always give them better informations, the best information they could have, and I guide them, but they do their journey and they decide. That is the most important thing.
Brilliant. So much to learn from Patricia. Awesome. So, Patricia, we have some questions, and I would like you to pick just one, read it, and answer it. Easier than transforming the plastic industry for sure. So, pick one.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to pick this one. Who's someone who's passed away you wish you'd met, and why? I think Jane Goodall. She passed away, I think, last year.
Yeah.
And I love how she has communicated what she has done. I love how she has led her actions since she was a young girl, traveling to Africa and just starting all this huge community that she has. I love how she loves nature, and I love how she takes care of people. So I would love to speak to her.
Thank you so much, Patricia.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.